Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anna Anders, humbly here on this YouTube channel, Facebook social media platform. Today is February 22nd, 2017, and I've been humbly waiting for most of the day to get in front of this camera to do a video. So I'm going to start with a moment of silence for all the sick and suffering, occupied, oppressed, misled, misfed, misinformation, disinformation, and then having to wait on real information. So, because it's been held hostage by corrupt Main Street media. I'm humbly Anna Anders, one of the founders of ForGlobalPeace.com. Thank you for tuning in and supporting the cause of global peace and exposing global corruption from local to global, since we are becoming fastly and vastly a global society of human beings. Okay, so that's what I have to say here today at home, humbly. I'm whispering a little, and when you hear me whispering in a video with my other half and I, that's because baby's sleeping, and Grandma Anna has her granddaughter quite a bit, and my grandchildren quite a bit. So the struggle's so real, but I know I'm not the only struggling grandmother out here. I also take care of an elder, so I'm doing that as well, and then we have 5 pets, okay? So Grandma Anna goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on a daily basis. But thank God for support groups, because that's where I've been suiting up, showing up, and trying not to throw up with all that's on my platter of life here today. And so that's where I'm at. But, okay, after a moment of silence, I'm going to say the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things and people I cannot change and situations, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. And thanks be to God in the most highest. Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Anders. Like I said, want to get right into, I posted yesterday some pictures of the Standard Oil Company here in corrupt Cleveland, Ohio. And the reason I did that was because yesterday I got up reflecting about my childhood, you know, and our first home, which was 5636 Hamlet Avenue. And actually that was first purchased home. I need to clarify that. Down the street from that home that my dad purchased is where we used to live as a family, upstairs in a big, it used to be a storefront home. So, and I don't know if it's still there or not, but I'm going to try and get a video of these places that I'm talking about. So, and I'll load those up later at another time. But, in the meantime, we used to live directly across the street from the Standard Oil Company here in corrupt Cleveland, Ohio. And so I was thinking about that and reflecting upon that, and I pulled it up and I found out that Mr. Rockefeller owned that. And so it just led me into, you know, some series of thoughts and consideration and reflection. And so, and then also, because I mentioned to you that I go to 12-step meetings, that means I go to AA. I do a lot of varieties of the 12-step meetings, okay? And the reason for that is because we've had a variety of issues in our sacred family tree. So you can't go to one meeting and address issues without going to the other. So yes, we have food addiction issues in our families, and you can tell when people are walking around just by the size of their bodies, okay? People are not born that big, and I'm sorry to say it, it's food addiction that's very rampant in our family tree. So here's the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. It's an old one, oldie but goodie. But what I want to say here is I've recently discovered, because I like paying attention to details, and that's kind of how these designs came to be, so to speak. But what I want to say is I recently questioned the fact of what is the first word in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And so let me see if I can find it real quick without killing too much time here. Oh my goodness, let's see. That would be the first chapter. I should have had this ready for us, maybe. But it's okay. It is okay. Chapter 4. Is that chapter 1? Okay, here. Bill's story. Hang on a second. Okay, so here it is. I hope I didn't kill too much time. But you will see right there where my index finger is, the word war, okay? So what I want to tell you next is, you know, it's not enough that I study the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. I also do work the steps and the traditions and stuff. So there's an actual book. It's called 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, and I can show that to you here in a little bit. But in the meantime, there's words. There's all kinds of words inside these books. So, and if you don't know words, then you can look them up here, see? So this is for the 12 and 12. It's a 12 and 12 dictionary, and then a 12 and 12 big book dictionary. And what I found so amazing recently is that I went in here, and lo and behold, I found, hold on, Mr. Rockefeller's name here, okay? And so I want to read this stuff to you, and actually I'm going to take pictures too. I find it so amazing. And so here it says, Mr. Rockefeller, John Davidson Rockefeller, born July 8th, 1839, and died deceased May 23rd, 1937. An American industrialist who played a prominent role in the early oil industry with the founding of Standard Oil. ExxonMobil is the largest of its descendants. Rockefeller built Standard Oil into the largest company in the world and was, for a time, the richest man in the world. And was, I'm going to repeat it because it's worthy of repeating, and was, for a time, the richest man in the world. He supported many church activities throughout his life and spent his last 40 years primarily focused on philanthropic pursuits, including education and public health, eventually giving away about half of his wealth. Okay? So that's a very interesting fact. And then in this book, oops, I dropped the book. Hold on here. It says John D. Rockefeller Jr., John Davidson Rockefeller, an early supporter and financial contributor to AA and / U.S. industrialists as well, known for providing money and support to charitable causes. Okay, so there we have it, folks. And so, hold on a second. So we found out that the big book starts with the first chapter, the word war. Okay, and then we found out that Mr. Rockefeller is an oil man and one of the richest men in the world. Okay, so what I want to say, guys, also during this time frame, if you will, they had prohibition. Okay, and people were not allowed to bootleg. And the reason I know this is because my great-grandma Frances on my mother's side of the family tree told me a story once upon a time. And that story would be that she had Elliot Ness in her home in Newburgh Heights. He was snooping around in her basement. It was a coal furnace that she had down there. And he was snooping around down there thinking that she was bootlegging. And she wasn't. My Grandma Frances was clean and sober. Clean and sober lady, always supporting the vets and all that stuff, and always doing community service to people in need. So, but anyhow, long story short, Grandma Frances tells the story of how she chased Elliot Ness the hell out of her basement. And so if you wonder where I get all this Spitfire and vinegar from, it's from my Grandma Frances. And by the way, I named my oldest daughter Frances after Grandma Frances. Frances Myers from Streetsboro, Ohio. But long story short, what I'm trying to get at here, guys, is this. I know damn well those Rockefellers funded the booze pouring out of corrupt Wall Street, the booze industry, and all the bars and stuff. So I know that because, see, they're greedy, and they didn't want to play the game of sharing the game, so that's why they put prohibition in place and decided to monopolize the market, like the Monopoly game. Okay? So there we have it. And then also they had to drag in something to the United States because these people were getting too drunk with all those saloons that were popping up all over the place. You know, and they had to keep people clean and sober to go to work and that kind of thing. So I understand why they dragged in the AA concepts and AA recovery. My problem isn't that Rockefeller did this. My problem is when you put in a secret hidden agenda into the verbiage, into the book itself, it becomes a form of indoctrinating people, like mind fucking them. Okay, that's the best way I can put it. And I'll spell that, by the way, P-H-U-C-K-I-N-G. Okay, so we don't deserve to be mind fucked or indoctrinated anymore. That's what I want to say. The other thing I want to let you know is I tried looking in both these books for the word peace, and it's non-existent, but I will give them some credit for putting in the word peaceable. Now I'm going to try and find it. I marked the book here. Let's see. That's not it. Here it is, I believe. Let's see. Okay, time is spinning, and I apologize, guys, so much. Oh, here it is. Yes. So, right here, peaceable. Inclined to be peaceful, promoting calm. How wonderful was that of them to put this in here. I'm Humbly Anna Anders on this YouTube channel. You know, they put all kinds of war information in these books, you know, but the word peaceable did show up. So I gotta let you go. Too long of a video, but I got more to talk about too. So I'm not done here, so stay tuned. And thank you so much for your long patience with my sharing of my experience, strength, and hope. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.